The internet is testing my patience. All right, Trusty A podcast. Decided to do this now or never. Non-Patreon stream. I still got to go fix my last Patreon video. My clips got mixed up. Anyway, I just wanted to cover this while it was fairly fresh over the last few days. Apostle Queen Belemzy apparently purchased a new house, some new furniture, and is very braggadocious about it. Very much boasting on the interwebs here. Link to join is in the side chat, I hope. Looks like. We just got an internet reset, but it looks like I'm getting a fairly stable connection. Of course, StreamYard is messing with me. What is up, Godless Sewing? Good to see you. Much love. So this woman, we'll just get right into it because it's a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video maybe more. This woman of God has been over here. That's all her channel is prosperity gospel and much boastfulness. A lot of vulgar displays of pride, which I think are anti-Christian, anti-biblical. But let's just, so apparently they were coming back to Columbus, Ohio from Dallas. So I got her location wrong. She's in Ohio. They were at a conference in Dallas, and this is their video on the bus ride back.
Thank you, Lord. Come on, everybody. Thank you, Lord, for everything. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for everything.
That's interesting.
We are back from Dallas, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, and as you can see, Charlotte, we are on the Holy Land.
We are on the Holy
I
Land.
just want to thank God for making it possible for us to go safely and come back and bring us safely. So everybody say, "To God be the glory."
To God be the glory.
All right, so we are back. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
Wait, so the Holy Land is her compound. Did somebody say this recently? Like she purchased a compound and she actually has her own cult? Is much what it appears to be like. Okay, and then this one. God told me to give $100 to everyone who traveled to Dallas with us, and they were surprised.
Anybody wants to buy anything? I want to give everybody money. You ready? One by one, you get.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's about to buy a house, so I mean, what's $100 to everyone on this bus? She's about to buy probably like, well, in Ohio, I don't know, it's probably in the hundreds of thousands. Not like what would be like a multi-million-dollar property in like, New York or LA or something.
$100.
Oh, thank you.
Went to the bathroom. Thank you, Pastor.
Yeah, look at her. She wants to shoot a video of her giving these people money. I don't know. That's kind of just gross. Everyone who went and traveled, presumably volunteered for her ministry at this whatever conference they were at in Texas, right? All right, we'll go to this one. I already watched parts of these where she's preparing to decorate her new house, and then we'll see her with the realtor. Go back to the beginning, though. Ah, damn you, you demon. It's just not working right now. It's lagging. Okay, give it a second. I'm being very impatient. I hope you are well on this Thursday. I just came from William Freeman's 9-hour stream rebuking Jill, which was fun and fascinating. uh, had Jill over a couple times, but it's more fun to watch people just fuck with him. Here.
This is mine. I got this one, guys. If you're gonna get a U-Haul, I don't think you can carry that. That might be so heavy. It's okay. I can take it. Okay, so we're gonna put this on delivery.
She's got the dramatic music in the background, like all triumphant. Check out my chairs down at the Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery.
Actually, $9.99, right?
Mm-hmm.
So $9.99, but it's very comfy.
Oh wait, $1,000 for the set? Just for the set of chairs. $1,000.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah! This is the woman of God, Apostle Belemzy, aka Queen Belemzy, and I'm in my house. I just closed on the house today, so it's officially mine. And look at the first chair that we got. We actually got two of this in this house, and guess how much it is? $2,000.
And she's gonna brag about this later. She paid for this house in cash, at least the down payment, something like that.
$899 just for this.
Oh wow, $2,899.
But we got it on sale for $999, right?
Yes. Okay.
Right.
$1,000 per chair.
Oh my God! And then we got two of it. And then that's the chair that I was sitting on. Put one here for now, so in case I'm here. Oh Lord! Yes. Wow! Beautiful house. So I'm gonna be here trying to put it together and everything. I pay for it. I don't put that on it. So good. Like it's mine. It's mine. And it feels so warm in here. So when Timmy.
Godless sewing in the back room. What's up, Will?
How's it going?
Yeah, it's just another Thursday.
Yeah, same. I'm actually moving, so I'm sitting here contemplating how I'm gonna move all this stuff.
Oh no shit. Are you moving like just across town? Or are you leaving the...
No, I'm moving out to the country. Not out of the country. I mean, in Southern California, but I'm moving out to the sticks, like where I won't have neighbors.
Right.
Like I will, but they're gonna be like an acre and a half away from me. And we'll only see each other at the mailbox.
On your side of the fence. Yeah.
No, I got lucky, and like I I'm just one of those people. Like I need to move out to the country and eat a lot of peaches. I've reached that age to be like the President's of the United States of America song. It's gonna be
towards
awesome.
retirement there, yeah.
Well, it's gonna be a lot of work, and what I'm not saying is it has a giant studio space. So it's gonna be interesting. I just have to figure out how to get Wi-Fi up there. But it's a modern era, so I'm
tight. Yeah, what they're gonna like make you probably like run your own lines or something to get.
For now, I'm gonna buy my own hotspot because I can steal it. Like basically, a hotspot piggybacks off of somebody else's signal. You know.
Yeah, I get those from like the library for you can rent them for like 2 weeks or something.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna be okay. And like, quite honestly, I need to cut the cord because I live online. Like I'm constantly with my phone in my hand. Like I have cable and I don't even watch it. And I asked my son legitimately. I was like, "Bro, what channels do you really watch?" And he was like, "I watch A&E and A&E." I was like, "We're gonna get a Fire Stick."
Yeah, I
So
think you can even just
this
like now you can go to the individual channel like that's just A&E online, and you could just get A&E programs. Like,
exactly, like, because I looked it up because I'm old, like, I'm not necessarily into a lot of these things. So I'm just discovering a lot of new things. And I'm like, bro, A&E has everything. Like, so he'll be fine. He likes watching people get busted at the airport. Have you ever seen those shows?
oh yeah, locked up abroad and shit like that.
Oh, where it's basically where people get caught with large amounts of drugs in some Panamanian or like Costa Rican airport. I can't watch it because like when you see people crying, like that's like some mom who didn't have money who wanted to make quick money who is about to go to jail for 10 years. Like her life is over. Her life is done, you know? It's cringy to me, but my son can't get enough of
I
it.
actually know a woman like that. She's about to get out of prison.
Oh, see,
I actually
I knew
know a
so.
woman who got busted coming across the Mexico border, and it's like, yeah, she's been up in for like 4 or 5 years now, and she's about to get out.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
forever.
it's kind
That's
of
a
a sad
long
story.
time.
I used to date her actually.
See, that's forever. To me, that's a long time. Even missing a year to me would be a long time at my age. I'm saying it like I'm 150. I'm just anti cop. Do you know I if you ever get bored, there is this African rapper. His name was Bamboo, I think, and he's a failed rapper. Okay, he went back to I don't know, it's either Nigeria or Kenya. I get it mixed up because I watch a lot of African television, but because they speak English, I forget what country they're in. And he basically he's probably Nigeria, but he basically was saying that the rap industry is controlled by Satanists, and that he was controlled by the devil for like 10 years. When the truth is he was just getting high for 10 years in New York.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that. Like they go into like the because like a lot of the early rap was was kind of like um I should say like the early mid 80s hip hop was kind of like the very militant like
We
keep a
call it
sober
conscious.
mind. It was kind of like the punk rock movement. It was like
Yeah.
very straight edge almost.
Yeah, it was.
And
We call it
then they got
conscious.
into the party rap and stuff is
Exactly. Conscious rap is different than the 90s rap. Like the 80s was about doing something with yourself and picking yourself up, and the 90s was about being a gangster, you know? Oh, hold on 1 second.
so. Have you been watching the Apostle Queen Belemzy videos at all?
What's
Oops,
that?
hold on. Have you been watching these videos, Apostle Queen Belemzy?
Okay, so I don't know why, but she makes my skin crawl. She just
Yeah,
absolutely like she bothers me. And I think it's because she knew that she could come to this country and act crazy because
and
Americans
it's
are
super
just
culty.
It's super like and one of the reasons I jumped in because I just got done with another stream, but like I was watching and who is giving her money? And um, and I'm saying this from the standpoint of like, hey, if you're just lost and you need to give someone money, I'll send you my real address. Like if you're just randomly sending money to weirdos, like I'll
She's
give
got
you my real name.
23,000 subscribers plus. Like it's yeah, it's
I just don't
disheartening.
get it. But then again, I don't there's a lot of things because I don't participate. I'm like, why are these people following this particular person or this politician or this genre of music, you know? It's just she's so strange to me. And I don't know, so I guess narcissistic people go really far in life. Like sociopathic, narcissistic people actually succeed in life in today's society. Because I'm about to move and my house is not going to look like that.
And like I don't know the whole. I guess it's a biblical thing, but the whole like attraction to whiteness, like she had everything she had was furniture, washer and dryer in white. Like it doesn't seem like very like an Anglican idea. Like I don't know. Like is there
But
some
that's
subconscious thing in there? Like
I'm not trying to get too deep, but like certain African countries were brainwashed and colonized, and so they have the same ideals. They have Western like people will talk about colonization, but it's just really the implementing Western ideals, and this is
I
the
always think about that with
definition.
people who buy like brand new white vehicles and then they like like have to go to the car wash like 3 times a week or more or something like because they have to keep it spotless just
Exactly. Oh, that reminds me. I have a white vehicle that is covered in mud right now because I could care less. Like it's a truck though,
right, yeah, that's what they're made for.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll
It's
check
just
this out. It's like a minute
oh,
long right here and then
I might Ralph. So if you hear it's me just
yeah.
Ralphing at this woman, dude.
The washer and dryer are now here for Queen's house, the new White House. Okay, so this is the washer. This is what it looks like on the inside.
We don't need a
Tells you where the
tutorial.
wax and where the bleach goes, where the softener goes, where
Yeah,
the
pull out the instruction manual.
detergent goes. And then this is how you turn it on.
I'm just mad because I
And
have
the
ones like
handles
that, but
are
they're
meant to
6 years
open.
old.
It opens from here, and this can fit a comforter and everything. And then this is the dryer.
It's not even her. She's got one of her young apostles doing this.
And then this is also the vent thing that you take out.
Why is she like? We know how washer and dryers work. I think it's weird when people do this. She's just showing off that she bought like name brand appliances. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like, isn't this all just no, it's not it's pridefulness, right? Like it's
yeah, it's a
totally
flex.
anti-biblical.
It's a total flex of like, look at me. See, this is what I appreciate being raised by a hillbilly. My dad was like all about having money, but he dressed like a homeless person. Like, he didn't care. Like he just did like that's how you should be, Like if you are truly living your religion, then you should be like oh, don't even get me started on Christians because if people followed the Bible, they should be walking around healing people. They should be wearing white. There's a whole list for these psychos. It's just isn't showing off your brand new house like completely anti-religion? I was talking about this earlier with Isaiah in the car about how because he's asking me like, oh, what can I do to get rich? And I told him start his own church. Because it's true. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, And he asked me how,
Absolutely.
And I told him, I said, you start a church up and you extort money from people who can barely afford it. And then when your church gets bigger and you find people who can't afford it, and then your church gets bigger and you move somewhere else.
And all you really have to convince people of is that, like, death isn't so bad, Like, that's like the whole swindle. It's like, yeah, it's not that bad when you die. Like, whatever your religion is, that's the dog.
What made me an atheist is I've told this story a million times. I basically overdosed and died. My heart stopped, brain stopped, everything. I was clinically dead, and I came back to life. It's on my freaking release papers from the hospital. like you legitimately died, okay? Nothing happened to me. It felt like 5 seconds had passed. But when I came to, the nurse threw, like, I was literally in a hallway to go to the morgue because that's how many people die in Portland, Oregon.
Damn.
But
See, I had
my
something
whole
similar, but I overdosed. I woke up in the back of an ambulance, and I was like, it was just like going to sleep and drifting off to sleep. And then when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
same same exact thing. Same exact thing. And so a lot of that spooky dookie, it kind of killed a lot of that spooky dookie stuff for me. It's like it's the grand sleep. Like, when you go, but I always say this, you would be amazed what you can do to the human body and still live. You
Yeah.
you would be amazed of what you could do to the human body and still come out.
We are extremely resilient creatures, and I think that's whatever, like, people make that argument where, well, like, life is fragile. Like, no, it's really not that I mean, yeah, you can kill some motherfuckers, but, like, at the end of the day, your life is not that fragile. Like, you could take a lot and
I've
come
had
out the other side if you have the will to.
Oh, totally. And I've had atheists yell at me, been like, "No, you're talking about resurrection." And I always say this line: "You've never met a junkie. Talk to someone with a real hardcore drug habit. They'll be like, bro, I've died 4 times, 5 times." Like, I've had to give CPR to 4 different people.
Right.
like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not saying, like, we put hype on things, but technically my body resurrected me. I didn't come back with magical knowledge. There's no one starting a religion after me. I scared the hell out of the nurse, and I'll never forget when I came to, because the nurse, he was flamboyantly gay, and he was like singing in the morgue, and I came to, and I like did, my body was stiff and everything. I set up, and I'll never forget, I looked at him and I was like, it's ironic that I get a gay nurse. And I passed out. And I woke up, and that mofo, he stayed with me even after his shifts and everything. Like, he was actually a really cool guy. But I scared him because I would, But to them, they were saying, "Oh, it's a miracle," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I OD'd. And there's nothing fancy behind it, It's just, I don't know. So seeing a grifter like this, like I would tell my story. Like, if I was in front of her, I would be like, you know what you believe in doesn't exist. Like, and I can prove it to you.
Yeah, I don't think she's much in the debate circuit. Like, she hasn't responded to anything I've done. As far as I know, she didn't respond to the Afro-Humanist either, which is where I first heard about her.
Why would
No,
you when you're making money? There's
no need.
There's this hate preacher that really pissed me off. His name was Spencer Smith, and I found out real quick he thinks he's better than everybody else, so he won't even respond to atheists. So I was like, I'll just stop watching you, bro, because I don't like you.
I actually had this guy, Daniel King. He retweeted at me a while back, and he did like a 10 questions for atheist video, and like everybody and their mother responded to it. And he just tweeted back at me. He said, "Thanks for reviewing my video." But that was it. And I was like, well, I invite you to come on the channel, but yeah, whatever.
I know who he is. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I've told the story a million times. I saw an apologist face to face, and he was way different in person. He
Oh,
was
they all do, yeah.
a William Lane Craig protege, and I didn't even step to him mean. I was just like, "What's up? I'm godless sewing." And his
They'll throw
eyes
'em off.
he instantly was like, "Uh-oh," because he got in, he railed into me in the chat. That was again back when I thought I had my newbie atheist gun loaded, you know, and I thought I knew what I was talking about. And he hammered me in the chat. He hammered me, and I saw him in person. I was so shocked he lived in my hometown.
Yeah, you get some of those. Like, I found a couple of guys that are street preachers in the Sacramento area, and then I was like, once I looked at their YouTube, it's similar to this stuff. But I was like, I just see these guys like every day just driving up and down like El Camino or Folsom Boulevard or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's different when you see someone face to face.
I can't find the one with her realtor. It might be in her shorts, but I want to look at this one real quick. She's, it's just, again, just gloating. My White House is looking so good. Praise the Lord. And she's got the dramatic music playing in the background of all these videos.
I'm not even trying to be mean, but that's like a model style built house. That's just
Right? But what I love is she's got pictures of herself hanging up all over her house. Like, and you can see the level of, like,
I don't want to see my own mug in my house. That throne, I'm gonna make one with gold paint and some like red velvet from Walmart. That throne is creepy
right?
too. If I walked in someone's house and they had a throne, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh, the video fucked up. Whatever. Not that important.
It's
You
just,
saw it. It's just.
it's totally weird to me how she's a white collar criminal. In any other, if she worked for like NBC, they would be like, where are you getting all this money? We pay you blah blah blah, but how can you live in this house? You know?
Yeah, she has a church, and she can pay for her house in cash. In cash. I wish I would have found that one. I'll try to go back and find it, where she brags about paying for it in cash. That's what tells you, like, oh, this is crooked as fuck.
I told you about Miss Cleo. Do you know who Miss Cleo is?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she was a phone psychic, and long story short, the United States government was like, "You owe us $200 million." She came and paid it in cash. That's how much money she had made off of people on the telephone. It's insulting.
We used to make fun of those. Like, I remember doing like back in the day when we were doing like skits, like you and me talking, but we're like satirizing like people like Miss Cleo, and you know, call 1-800. You know,
she made more money than the Pope, and she lives in Canada, and she's still rich. I aspire to have as much money as Miss Cleo. White collar criminals trip me out because you have to have no conscience. You have to be like, people are sleeping 10 in a room so that I can live in a mansion by myself with, and so she has this nice house. Are they surrounded by portables? Where is the Holy Land? As like, is it near her house? Does she live on a property?
yeah. See, at first I thought she was talking about like that theme park. Which one is it? The Ken Ham has the Ark Encounter. So is Kent Hovind's the Holy Land Experience or whatever the theme park?
It's dinosaur.
Oh, he's got
Land.
Dinosaur Adventureland. So there's another one that's the Holy Land Experience, where you go and watch they do the show where Christ gets crucified and stuff. That's a separate park, I think. That's what I thought she was talking about, but now I'm not really sure.
It just trips me out.
Yeah, she's on like this giant freaking property in the middle of nowhere, and she's got free range to drive around it. So that must be her holy land, like uh, her little property, and she's got like a busload of students. That's what really, and I guess they're sending these students from all over the world to come study under her, and that scares me the most because she's got like a YouTube channel. Is she accredited for anything? Is she a teacher of any kind? Like I don't think so. She's just some lady who got some YouTube success, pretty much, right?
That again, just because you have YouTube success doesn't mean I'm going to listen to you. Even in the atheist community, like someone will have doctor behind their name. I still think they're kind of lost. And I'm not even trying to talk about anybody specifically, but there's a few people where I'm like, wow, people listen to you.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a doctor in anything, like you could be a podiatrist or something and claim to be an expert in human anatomy or whatever. Like,
my mom has a PhD in people with special needs. She ask her where a pancreas is. She'll say, "I'm a doctor." And I'll be like, "Where's the pancreas?" And she'll be like, "Fuck off." You know, you can be a doctor in many things.
I'm constantly looking those up. Yeah, like what side is my liver on? You know, that type of shit. I
I
forgot.
do, but I'll warn you about self-diagnosing. Self-diagnosing is dangerous because I do it too. And sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I have the bubonic plague. My life is over." Like, oh my gosh, my arms are gonna fall off. You know. Where's my other phone? I gotta take pictures of this sewing machine. It's
Oh, is that
it's
the singer?
well, I've bought. There's an antique store by my job, and I am just I'm a junkie. This is my drug right here. This is my drug of choice. Is freaking shopping. And so I freaking bought a 1913 Singer sewing machine. But I buy them off of people who don't know what they have. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you two dubs for this. And they're like, okay. This particular machine, I'm gonna turn around and sell for like 1,500.
Damn.
So I get profit. Like there's method to my madness. That's why these black singers, I've even trained my son to look for them because I resell them for 9 times because I know how to get them going, and the value is if they work, it's 10 times worth 10 times more.
It's like my buddy who turns over cars. Like $500, turn around and resell for like 2,500. That's like replace like a radiator or something like that.
Do you know what destroyed that particular field, at least for like people I knew, was have you ever seen the show Counting Cars?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love the count, but he taught everybody the value of their car. A long time ago, my we were at a party and this guy was like, "Oh, you want to see something cool?" He's like, "Let's go look in my garage." He's like, "I have this 69 Mustang." My dad was like, "Hey, I'll give you $500 for it." The guy was like, "Cool." Within 45 minutes, we had a tow truck there getting that thing out of there, You can't do that nowadays because people know that 69 Mustang is worth 20, 30,000, it's worth a lot of money. And certain models are worth $100,000. And it's because of the internet and because of television, people know their value. I'm not saying as someone who's a buyer, like I love people who don't know what they have, but I'm okay with consumers not getting ripped off also. Or with people selling things and not getting ripped off. Like even my junky truck is worth a lot of money because people turn them into monster trucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People don't think about that, but yeah, like the demolition derbies and shit. Anything with a good engine, like fuck the body. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I'll have it. My 88 is a tank. I've been driving it lately, but like, gas in California is unreal. I paid $100 yesterday. So we'll see how far I get on $100 in gas.
Yeah.
I want to know because okay, quite honestly, people nowadays, a lot of people are subsidized. Where is she getting all of this money? Or did she? I don't know. I had a friend who was Somalian, and she used to always tell me that when you see someone from an African country, they had to have money to get out of that country. You know what I'm saying? So if you see an African, like if I see a Kenyan in LA, like they had to have some sort of money to get here, you know, or some way to have got, you know, ended up here. So I want to know where she gets all of her money.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, did the church subsidize that, or did she work with some like crime syndicate, right? Because there's a lot of that. Like, there's a good chance she
Exactly.
could have dealt in like human trafficking or something to get where she's at.
I excuse me. Oh man, it's the time of year. I worked for an Ethiopian man who literally owned another human being, and he quote unquote like freed her when she moved to America, but she never left their side. And I would tell her like, run, let's go. I would tell her all the time, like, let's go to Kentucky, let's move somewhere. And she'd be like, no, like, it's okay. She was a real purchased human being that was brought to this country. And to my ex boss's credit, he did, like, you know, he treated her well and he let her go. But like, I always thought that that was the creepiest thing on earth. He literally like owned her since she was a little kid.
That is pretty creepy.
LA is crazy, dude. I knew I worked for people that were South Korean, and they would help North Korean people come to America basically when they would smuggle them out of the country. And I worked with a man who was from North Korea, and he was the nicest human being I have ever met in my entire life. He was just grateful to not be under a dictatorship. I think we should all adopt that attitude sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
I just thought
Uh,
I like so you have my whole point of my rambling is that like people like this woman just don't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like where did she get her money? Like I'll tell you, my race team is sponsored by mommy and daddy. My entire family is sponsored by my grandfather and his grandfather before him. Like, where are they getting their money? You know?
Indeed. Um, like, yeah, and it's so specious when something like this, like, because, yeah, I mean, sure, people are donating to her, like, because she's got a ministry. I use the scare quotes there, supposedly, like, a ministry. So she's getting, like, this private. But then, like, what about these kids' parents? Like, these kids are actually, or these parents are actually sending their kids off with her, like, for however long. Like, are they paying for their room and board? You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? Because I'm sure that she's not just taking them in for free. So now, like, these parents are maybe actually paying for their kids to go stay with this woman and have her use them, exploit them to promote her ministry, right?
So they can sleep in bunk beds while she's living in a castle.
Yeah, she's got like a queen size. They're living in like a shed or something.
When you showed when there was a footage of her in the Holy Land, it reminded me of like a youth of a YA camp. They
Yeah,
look like bungalows where there's just like bunk beds or like a barracks at Camp Pendleton or something. You know, it was very military the
yeah. It's
way
probably like
it
it's
looked.
it's a big parking lot with like her house and a handful of trailers or something. You know?
Oh, that's just
Yeah.
and she calls that the Holy Land. Like, aren't there laws against that?
Biblical laws.
I don't know. It just seems so strange to me. And maybe part of it's jealousy because I'm honest. Maybe I need to become a sociopathic liar to you know, go get ahead in this world.
Oh yeah. I totally wanted to run a cult compound. We were going to buy an island, like a coastal island, and it's going to be great.
Dude, the funny thing is, like, I'm a firm believer. As long as you don't believe your own bullshit, you can do anything. So as long as you didn't believe in it, have you ever seen the Vice documentary about the man in like Sweden or something that thinks he's the second coming of Jesus?
I didn't hear about that one. I know about the guy from, I think he's Mexican. But he also thinks he's the second coming, he's like a Mexican or South American guy.
This guy, I'm gonna find it. This guy lives on a hill, and like the Vice guy was like, "Oh man, I shouldn't have smoked a pack of Pall Malls before and he had to walk up this giant hill, and like all of his cult members live at the bottom of the hill, and he like walks out, and it's like literally a Cesar Borgia looking white guy with the beard and the long hair. Like, you could rock it. My son could rock that look. Like, anybody could rock that, like, standard Jesus look,
Well,
It just
my
keeps,
beard's not that good, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like, and Jesus didn't even, and I'm not going to get into the debate because in the atheist community, they have beaten that question into the ground so much it no longer has value to me. Like, I don't care whether he existed or not, but if he did exist, he would not have been blonde hair and blue eyed in a place where where it's 110 degrees all the time.
Yeah, definitely not. He would have been like the
So,
only white guy out there.
and there are albinos in Africa, but they still have distinct sub-Saharan features.
Right.
Very distinct sub-Saharan features. So I don't know. I just hear these crappy arguments, and I'm like, look, man, if I can destroy your argument, you need to go back to the drawing board.
For sure. All right. Let's watch this one. Let's watch this one last video that we could give them some. This is the furniture delivery guys. They look like some nice guys, and then she's gonna pray over them, I guess.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I got it.
He asked for her to pray for them.
How about a tip?
There's gonna be like 6 signatures.
I need 6 signatures. I hand it to somebody else.
So everything is delivered?
Yeah, so,
You got everything on the list?
so I need 5 signatures, 1 on each page. They're gonna be right there at the bottom.
So she was like, "Can I pray for you?" He's like, "Yeah, right after you sign."
Yeah,
this.
like,
so I go,
like, dude, can I do my job first? That's my whole beef with Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm sure your food tastes good, but I don't want people to pray over me. Like, oh, he was nice. He just said he said, "Oh, such a beautiful woman," but he was actually they're kind of mocking her. Never mind, he's not nice. Oh, one of her minions speaks Spanish. Okay, I was wondering why are they calling her such a beautiful woman and everything. That has to be one of her minions.
Yeah, so that way I can have. Sure. What do you want to do?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That guy, I think the one in the mask is her translator.
Okay, because he's like, "Oh, she's such a beautiful woman," blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, guy, I can hear you."
Thank you, Lord, for your
Oh.
for bringing them to my
bless them. Even if they have worked here, bless them, oh God. Heal them, oh God, if they need healing. Deliver them from anything that is holding them back. Bless their families in the name of Jesus. Open doors for them. And Father, let your love fill their hearts in the name of Jesus. Father, let them love you like never before and use them for your glory. In Jesus' name, you are blessed. Amen. Thank you. I say use them for your glory.
And once again, with a picture of herself on the flat screen. Like, I go back to it. It's a picture of her on the flat screen.
Crazy
Like,
person.
I cannot get it out. She's just so self-absorbed. It's like, oh, gross, just gross.
Okay, so it's actually a pet peeve of mine, but I'm kind of over it because I'm out of my super angry atheist phase, but it bothers me when people assume that they're allowed to pray over you. Bro, just leave me alone. Let me get on with my day. Like, the older I get, the more rude I am. If someone's like, "Can I pray over you?" I'm like, "No." Kick rock.
Well, I will say for a lot of like the Latino culture, like they're actually pretty into that. So like they're kind of almost pagan in that way. Like anybody who claims to be a saint, they're like, sure, go for it. You know, in a lot of
That
ways.
is-
Like, oh,
No, you're right, because in Mexico they have patron saints that are drug dealers.
right.
Like, there's candles. There's one time I picked up a candle. I was like, "Who is this guy?" And they're like, "That's Pepe. That's Pepe. Blah 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 blah." And Felix. Blah 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 blah. Like, they're the most wanted people in Mexico, and now they're patron saints.
Yeah, like the fucking Robin Hood of the South or whatever.
It's true. It strangely depends on where you're from. It's the weirdest thing. Culture is strange that way, though. I was having this I was having this conversation earlier. And it's in the UK too. People forget that other human beings exist. Like in America, we get really wrapped up in our lives. And because of where we live, we don't see like other things go on in other countries unless we turn on the television or our phones, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If I
But
didn't
like,
see it on Facebook, it didn't happen.
yeah. But like right now, if you lived in one of the old Soviet bloc countries right now, you'd be worried about life in general, you know? But in the West, we're just like chilling, living our life, you know? We all have different perspectives. I try to have that into consideration, even though I know people do not have consideration for me. What channel is that on?
Well,
Do you
which
feel
one?
do you feel sometimes that as an atheist you have more value? Do you feel sometimes as an atheist you emulate Christian values more than a Christian?
Oh yeah, yeah, all the time. I think
Yeah.
it takes far more humility to be an atheist. Like, um, like Queen Belemzy is like one like extreme example, but a lot of Christians do that. Or I just came out of like a 9-hour stream, 9.5 hour stream, looking at Jill. It's like the same thing. Like, can't even ask like, what does that mean? You're just so prideful, you can't even acknowledge your own ignorance. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like I know there's a gang of stuff I don't know, and I know that. I'm willing to admit, you know. It just
yeah, and I think we actually get the pun where like Christianity means to be like Christ, anything, whatever the Gospels espouse is like humility,
totally.
patience, temperance, all those things. It's like that's what a Christian's supposed to be.
Totally. And so it just trips me out that in modern day term, like it's not, I have a friend who's a Christian, okay? She's a senior citizen. She's known me my whole life. She is the definition of a good person. If you took religion away, she's just a good person. I know somebody who's Bengali and they're Muslim and they're the same way. They're just a good. It doesn't matter about where you're from or what religion you are. But again, I'm an atheist, so I'm just like it's all just made up to make yourself feel better, you know. I try not to be mean. I'm trying not to be mean, you know. I try not to harp on religion as much anymore because I've been noticing in the atheist community, like there's this giant dog pile. It's like we get it. I get it. I'm not pro religion. If it comes near me, I'm like, stay away. But I'm not gonna trash. If that placebo makes you feel better, go right ahead. I think Narcotics Anonymous is a cult. But if that helps you get off of drugs, hey, I am no one to tell you to not do it, you know?
Yeah, I lost you for a few seconds, but I think I get what you're smell what you're stepping on there. Like I think maybe some people legitimately need the church to like get clean or stay clean or whatever. Maybe that's their
Yeah.
thing. Like, and I'm not going to try to take that away from them. But
I'm just
as much
I
that
use sorry.
I mean, I
I
think it's important to keep religion out of politics. Like church and state separation is where I
totally.
draw the line.
No, I'm not saying give them free reign, you know. I just people have the right to have self beliefs. The second you push it on other people, that's where I'm there with the stop sign. like nah, no. I'm just not I just don't want to emulate my captors. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't walk around telling people how to live their life. I'll give suggestions, you know, but I don't I if I think certain things are bad about the religion I came from, I'm not going to turn around and just become that. And I see that happen with a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think like primarily like you just don't want to promote bad ideas. Like if it's a bad idea, you just want to say it's a bad idea. Like it doesn't matter who's like
Exactly.
you're offending. Like
You know, today Steve in the Afro Humanist chat, I said the atheist community is extremely racist. And Steve McRae, manager, said something that's extremely true. Um, he said that the atheist community reflects society. So whatever that person, you know, like just because they do not believe in God doesn't mean they're not going to bring all their other politics and stuff with them. And that's true with everything, you know. But I think because I'm from the I'm not from Berkeley, but I'm from like the West Coast Berkeley mindset of like, live and let live. It's strange to me to see so much strife and hatred.
yeah, and I mean I think a powerful argument against capitalism is like these evangelists that you know the exploitation, the factor is just so high. Like all workers in essence are being exploited to some degree, and then like you scale that down and now you can like exploit these young people for labor using religion, and all this different. And we were talking the other night about the pastor who wants to start harvesting weed in the church to bring more young people in, exploiting this youth
Slave
labor that
labor,
no other
dude.
business gets to do.
That's tax-free slave labor, dude. We have
Yeah.
child law. You couldn't have me in that room. I'd be like, bro, I'll help you. I'm a grown man. Can I like have two for you, one for me? I'll help you cut all day long, you know. But
But I remember like getting paid like $20 to re-roof a chicken coop when I was like 14 or something. And it was under the same
same.
pretense.
No, same. I walked dogs when I was a kid, and I thought I was a businessman. And if I did the math now, even with inflation, I was ripping myself off.
Yeah, you're like, hold on, I should be getting paid this by the hour.
Yeah. I man, I was an entrepreneur. I had like 4 or 5 dogs. I was walking in the neighborhood. Like that's where my addiction with money started. So and it's
I
funny
tried to
that
start a landscaping business. I left flyers in the mailboxes of all the neighbors, and I ended up with the county sheriff showed up at my door, and he said, "You're tampering with federal property. You can't put these flyers in the mailboxes. You have to leave them on the doorstep or whatever. The next time we're going to
whoa,
charge you." I was like, "Whoa, all right."
whoa, that's hardcore, dude. Someone you probably put it in like a DA's mailbox or something.
Yeah, I
That's
figured.
crazy. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's crazy. Imagine saying that to a child. See, I couldn't have that job. I'd be like, "Hey, bro, just put it on the doorstep next time. Have a good day."
No, they were dicks up there. The far north, man, they've just got nothing better to do, I'll say.
It's the same here, but I California, people don't realize the underbelly of police and prison guards that we have in California in general.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Actually, one of my most common things that I get as a security guard whenever I'm out in public, I'll constantly have corrections officers or former corrections officers stop me and say, "Hey, you should get into the prison system." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll think about that. I'll think about that."
There's one time, I don't know what it's called. It's a chain up north where it's like they have games and stuff, but they have really good pizza, and you go in this adult room and they have big screen TVs. They have mini golf and stuff. Not Mountain Mike's. It was something else.
Dave and Buster's.
It was like a NorCal version of that. But long story short, my ex brother-in-law, who I'm still friends with, he has a shaved head and he's a white guy. So whenever I hang out with him up north, people would always, and we both had our families and we were eating, and I'll never forget, some guy walks up to us, he's like, "Hey, you guys correctional officers?" And like, and I didn't say a word because I was chewing, but my ex brother-in-law was like, "Yeah, you got a problem?" The guy was like, "No." We were not. We were not. We just look like meatheads, really, is what it is. But up north, every other person is a correctional officer. You can tell because they have a nice car. So, is there anything crazy in the news that's been going on?
Oh, we're back. Sorry, I'm having my internet's being all squirrely on me. I haven't heard anything other than the one main story I'm seeing is basically protests in Iran are still going on, and
Wow.
they've now executed a couple of the protesters, while simultaneously, like mainstream media in some places is claiming that they've broken up the morality police, which is completely unfounded. They've just like lightened the patrols so they're not out as much. But in reality, I guess in the back they're trying and executing protesters over there right now. So that's the real news from that area.
Sounds like a second revolution, huh?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gone that way. And I don't think they can maybe silence it in their local media, but as far as like them cutting people off of social media and stuff, that seems to be a thing of the past. It's just it's
The
out
people,
there now, and they can't suppress it.
the protesters have history on their side, so hopefully, they'll get change. But as do you know one of the reasons why the revolution started in the first place? Oh, where's my book before I
You,
start saying
you mean
idiotic
the
things?
original?
Yeah, in 78 or
Oh,
79 or
well, I thought originally it was a religious revolution, right? That was when the Ayatollah or whatever kind of took over, right?
but They stormed.
a theocratic rule.
But they stormed the American embassy. The Americans left, but they left their paperwork behind. And they found out, and this is why Iran will always hate us, because they found out that their country was being ran by America and Israel. And it's documented. It's
Right,
history.
right.
That's what we do. Like, let's be real. As a country, our country, we set like, oh, they got a bunch of oil here. Let's turn them into us. Send an Exxon, give them McDonald's. You know, it's standard. It's standard procedure, and it's been going on before we were born. You know, and
Yeah, kind of part of that, like low key, like where our own theocracy tells us, like, oh, well, better anything than Islam, right? Like anything's better.
exactly. And there's always that question: how come America's not in Darfur? How come they're not in certain African countries? Because there's no oil there. There's nothing left to exploit there. But you know, Iran is oil rich. So why not would you not want to basically they were our puppet country, and they will hate us forever because of it.
Right.
And that's that. And you know what, part of me is like, man, if I found out somebody was puppeting my life, I'd freak out.
Yeah, red pill.
Freak out, you know, like if everything you did was determined by another country that didn't people who aren't from your country, you know. And I don't want to get into politics about it because it's documented. Like we were running their country. Because there's pictures pre-revolution, they literally were driving Volkswagens. They had, you know, you'd see a woman in Iran with a beehive wearing a bikini, you know.
Yeah, with her burqa too.
But now it's their they look like they're snake eyes. No, I shouldn't say that's mean. They now it's fully covered with a niqab and everything else, you know.
Right.
So and I'm not saying Western society is the greatest thing on earth. It's all I know. So I'm like, you know, sadly waving the Western society pennant, you know, but
like George Carlin, you know, I'd say we should lean more towards unlimited freedom, you know.
But again, Iran has the right to hate us though, because we were running their country. God, where's my book? I have a book. It's called Unintended Consequences, and it actually shows you the documents. It's like, oh, they were being ran by two different countries, you know.
It's a crazy world.
That's why
world.
they oh, go ahead.
No. Finish what you're saying.
When we beat them in the World Cup, it was the end of the world. When they beat us in the World Cup, it was the end of the world. And people still remember. And it was like 1998. When I saw that, I'm like, where was I? Because I didn't remember that. But soccer's not my thing, you know? So I try to...
Yeah, we weren't focused on it so much.
I try to see the other side.
Now they're like, look, FIFA.
Yeah. Oh, FIFA's so corrupt. But my whole point of rambling is I try to see the other side because, like, you'll see something and they'll say, oh, this guy's a psycho. Why was he running in there to beat this guy up? Like, why was he running in there? What made him completely completely go bananas, you know? There's reasons behind things.
Yeah, soccer is like basketball. Like, you know, half of the game is just trying to psych the other player out. Like, yeah, like, you know, some of your mama joke at him or something.
Dude, as a smoker, it's too much running. Like, hockey is a perfect example. Hockey is soccer on ice. It is the same sport basically, but you use less effort pushing off with your skates. Way less effort.
Yeah.
Like basketball,
just take harder hits when you get checked with a stick.
Oh, it's hockey is the only sport on earth where you're allowed to beat someone up the entire game. They run into each other like There's a joke Cedric the Entertainer said, like, black people can't play hockey, they'd be too offended. And like I catch myself sometimes, like when I watch Kings games, I'm like, if that mother effer touched me like that, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little too excited. But hockey, it's a hardcore game.
Absolutely.
It's
We used
the
to play street hockey, and man, yeah, those were some good times, but we had some brutal moments. I remember running my stepbrother into the back of a parked car,
oh
because he
yeah,
was focused on the ball, and I was
oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gonna run your ass into this car right here.
Those were the days, dude. We had a net and everything, man. Like it was, we were crazy.
Yeah,
I wonder if kids still play street hockey. I don't see that around here. And when I went and bought a puck, I had to
yeah,
like
you don't see very much.
I bought a puck because I joined an old man league, but then COVID hit. And like chaos, I'm not kidding you. I was in an old man league, okay? These guys were playing like they're like there's professional scouts there or something. They were trying to kill each other. They're getting in fights in the parking lot. And I'm like, dude, you are 45 and you can barely breathe, bro. What are you doing? Like, stop it. Men like that there's that weird toxic masculinity is what I'm trying to say. Of like
Yeah, they're all taking like HGH and steroids over there. Like, fuck.
bro, we're playing hockey. We're playing hockey at the community center. We're not playing at like we're not pros, We're at an old rundown YMCA because no one goes there anymore. This is the only place that has a ring, a rink anymore, Oh,
I got kicked out of the boxing club. There's nowhere else for me to go.
there was one guy who got kicked out. He was a cop and he got kicked out of the league because he was a little overzealous. Like he was acting like it was the pros. And they were like, dude, there are literally people drinking beer on in the stands and in the game. Like it's literally beer league. Like people are literally drinking a beer as they're on the sidelines,
Fucking A.
Like it's not that serious, guy. I miss it, but ever since COVID, it's just not the same, and I'm out of shape. I can't go back. I'll get beat up. I'm out of shape.
Yeah, I'm like, I go running and I'm like, my tops have been like 6 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me, It's like,
Oh, today I'm moving, and today like I moved a bunch of stuff, and Isaiah looked at me and he's like, I can hear your heart. My heart was beating so fast. You could hear it beating against my fuck because I'm so out of shape, but I'm so stubborn and determined. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if I pass out. I don't care. That goes back to you'd be amazed what you can do to the human body and still live.
absolutely. I just have to point out that it is 420. Taking a
Oh.
toke.
Do you watch Look at the Trees?
Wait, do they have a channel? You're talking about the YouTuber?
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen their channel.
you should check out their channel. I love Look at the Trees. He does this. I think it's called. I'm completely messing up because I'm smoking. He calls it. Oh damn it! Now I have to look it up. Rips and Sips.
Okay.
And we all do rips and sips. Because he does it with coffee, and that's literally my combo. That's what gets me rambly.
Yeah. So I had coming into this. I was like, I had a cup of coffee, half an energy drink.
I found a bunch of old Starbucks cards, and I was like, oh, this is a heart palpitation waiting to happen.
I'm not even subscribed. Now I am. I wasn't even subscribed.
Look at the Trees is awesome. I quit going to Starbucks because of all the politics behind it. And excuse me, if it amazes me how people will clamor to pay $8 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Like I go in there, the line's backed up to the door. It's like Chick-fil-A. It's just not worth it, you know.
I've still never been to a Chick-fil-A, and at this point, it's not even politics. It's I don't like people praying over me.
Yeah. Or In and Out. Yeah, same thing. It's like,
I didn't know that In-N-Out was religious. When my ex-wife was pregnant with Isaiah, she ate it every day for a month, and I have not had it since.
my ex used to love to go there all the time, and I do like the animal style fries, but yeah,
Oh.
they don't pray over every meal like the Chick-fil-A, but they do like a group prayer at the beginning of each shift or some shit like
Oh,
that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's in the because one of us applied for a job at In and Out, and it's in the on the job application. You have to agree to participate in the group prayer. Like you can just like bow your head or whatever, but you have to participate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I worked at Walmart in the 90s when I was a kid. Well, for me, anything under 25, I was a kid. But I was like 17 or 18, and well, I was like 17. And it wasn't a religious meeting, but they had this like hand clappy song that they would make you sing every morning. And I literally was like, I can't work morning shift anymore. I started working the midday shift because it was it was just weird to me. I always feel out of place in cultish situations.
Yeah, and if it's like your job, that's a whole other level. Like I remember there was one guy who was a supervisor, but he wasn't, you know, like the manager, but a supervisor when I was working banquets, and he would always, you know, try to do a prayer, and we'd all just kind of walk off, like whatever, you could pray by yourself, buddy, you know. But I was like, should this guy be in a position of power if this is his old shtick, you know?
I
Like,
agree with you. And again, because I'm like I'm not as mean as I seem, even though I am sometimes, but I don't care what people do. Don't force it on me. I will literally hang out with anyone. I'll be cool with anyone. I don't push my ways on people. It bothers me when I'm forced to do something. Like a couple of times I got caught at my son's old school, and like they would make me stop and take my hat off and put my hand over my heart for the Pledge of Allegiance.
no, yeah, I got kicked out of my second grade class for defying the Pledge of Allegiance. So I ended up having to sit out in front of the room on the bench every morning while they did the Pledge of Allegiance because I
It just
mocked the teacher.
But I was a grown man when they made me do this, and I'll never forget. I was like, "Do I have to do this?" And there was one because my ex-wife and I. This was a long time ago. My son was in elementary school. We were fighting for custody, so it was like we were at the school all the time. Like honestly, when you sue somebody, you're just wasting that. Like you're wasting each other's time. But anyways, long story short, they were like, "Yes, you have to. You have to put your hand over your heart." Like. And I'm lawyerless. I'm like a lawyer. I'm like, show me where the law is where I have to do that. But I didn't care. But it just tripped me out that they still do it to this day because some schools don't.
Yeah, or like in courts, I guess with criminal proceedings, you're still like swear on the Bible type of shit. But you could opt out, you know. But that maybe goes against your credibility. I don't know.
I'll lie on any book. Put Moby Dick out there. I'm still
Yeah,
going to tell you what I was going to keep me out of jail. I'll put the Bible. I'll swear on a stack of Bibles. I'll stand on Bibles while swearing on a stack of them. It won't matter. That's another archaic law that is still in place that makes me laugh. Does the Bible scare people still?
oh yeah, apparently so.
Like, cause you hold it up and stop like a bunch of people from trying to shoot you?
You can keep the pocket version your underneath your breast so that yeah, whatever stops bullets or some shit.
I guess if you got like one of those Bible covers that said Holy Bible and shoved a brick in there, it might be useful. But besides that, and I'm not trying to mock the Bible, but like, it's just one of those things. do you feel more obligated if by swearing on a Bible? Like, I guess it's the whole God's gonna get you thing, right? It's the whole God's a bully. The bully's gonna get you in the end, kind of thing.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, if you're gonna lie anyway. I mean, that's the way people are. Like, they don't care if they're lying already. It doesn't matter if they're swearing on a Bible first or not.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm sure it was like that even in the days where people pretended to have virtue.
Yeah, yeah. And now you don't even have to pretend.
My I
Um.
had
All
a
right. All
family
right.
member.
So I
Oh,
guess
sorry. What's that?
it sounds like I have something going on out here. So shit, and my internet keeps getting squirrely on me again.
Drama.
But go ahead with what you were saying. Yeah,
Oh
just
no,
well, it's time for me
I lost my train of thought.
to. But no, I got we could talk probably backstage, but I'll get on like wrapping the stream up. But do you have any final thoughts on Apostle Queen Belemzy over there? Or I know we went pretty far afield in our conversation, but
Do not send
taking
your
it back there.
children. Do not send your children to this woman. If you see her, run. What do you think? It scares me that people send their children to her.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that they may even like pay to send their children there. Like, oh my goodness, stop giving this woman money. She's got more than enough. It seems. Send some to my PayPal account. No.
I said the same thing. Like, if you
I
have
kid.
money to send,
But
Godless Sewing at Godless
okay,
Sewing.
do you have anything coming out? Any shows?
I'm gonna be making a video on this, but I'm gonna be moving, so I'm gonna probably be taking a break for YouTube for a week or two because I own 5 lifetimes worth of crap. So I gotta move all my stuff.
Godless hoarding over here. Yes,
I no. You know, really quickly when my pops died, before my pops died, I just had a lot of stuff. After he died, I became a real life hoarder. I am like real life Grady Stanford.
Nice. I've
So I'll be
got
taking a
to
break.
I've got to redo my last Patreon video because I fucked up my edit on that one. So, but it looked like it already got some views and stuff. So yeah, I'll be remaking that, and yeah, probably taking a couple days off myself just to work on some stuff. But yeah, um, I would encourage anybody who's interested to go check out William Freeman's stream he did today. It's like 9.5 hours roasting Jill and Veckel. So that was fun.
Oh, that's cool. I need new stuff to watch too. I already like his name.
Yeah. He's actually one of the more reasonable theists to talk to, as far as that goes. So I was like, I went over there and I was joking about it too because I was watching this morning and then I ended up taking a nap for like 3 hours, but I kept the stream playing the whole time. Like it was enjoyable enough. So
I do that. But I think it's rude to walk up to YouTubers and be like, I love your show. I fall asleep to it every day.
yeah.
There's a bunch of people I fall asleep to, but I would never tell them.
You're like, oh, you're implying it was boring? No,
Yeah.
no, it was relaxing.
No, they have a I'm loud, I like people that can control their voice.
All right, well, we're gonna end broadcast. Trusty Ape Coast signing off. Godless saying, much love, everyone, and keep it real.
Rock out with your clock out.